All right, let's bring you news developing just this morning and early afternoon. ANC MP Boy Mamabolo has failed in his bid to reinstate, or rather be reinstated in the party's list of candidates for the National Assembly after the May elections. In fact, the Johannesburg High Court has struck his urgent application off the roll. Newzroom Afrika's Juniour Khumalo has been following those proceedings, and in fact he joins us for the first time here on this daytime update. Junior, it's great to see you. Thanks very much indeed for coming into studio. And we're going to see a lot of this, aren't we, as we build up to the election. But this is a case of an MP taking his own party to court.
Basically, this is an MP of the ANC taking his own party to court, saying that he's been removed from the provincial list of Limpopo to national list. So he claims that he was number 5 on that list, but the ANC has since removed him. The ANC argues that he does not have a matric certificate, which is one of the requirements that the party has put in place this time around for its candidates that are going to contest, to be in that list to contest for positions in the National Assembly. So the court found that there was no agency, so he basically failed at the first hurdle to prove to the court that there is some agency to this matter. The argument by the lawyers representing the ANC was that he knew as far back as November that he was required to attach the matric certificate to his application and his interview process. So the agency now is self-created. That's what the court found out.
So okay, it's struck off the roll in terms of urgency, but is there a chance that he can still be heard by the court?
Indeed. So I spoke to him after the matter was struck off the roll. He says that he is now going to re-enroll the matter on a normal basis, which means that it's going to take a lot longer than what he anticipated, because he was arguing agency because we know that the IEC is finalizing the final list of candidates tomorrow. And by Friday, it's actually going to be certifying those lists and giving them back to the parties that have registered and qualified to contest the elections. So the main argument here was that he was initially on the list when the province itself was dealing with the matter, because there's a provincial list committee that deals with the matter. He was on the list and he was number 5 on the list. Despite him being told that he has to attach his matric certificate, that provincial list still found, list committee still found that he was eligible, and it endorsed him at number 5. But when the list was taken to the ANC nationally, that's when the name came out. And the ANC seems to claim that now he is back on the list, but he is number 23 on the list. Let's take a listen to what his legal representative had to say about him being reinstated in number 23.
The province of Limpopo has been allocated by the IEC 20 seats. Only 20 people from Limpopo can go to the National Assembly. Now they take him from number 5 without explanation of what scientific process or what procedure was followed to choose a number to place him. They go place him at 22, which exceeds the number of seats. That is an effective removal. That is why the IEC's list that is ultimately published doesn't have his name there, because anyone who's from 21 and below can't be on the list.
A bit of a cheeky move by the ANC then to remove a candidate from the list and put them in a position that essentially is non-existent.
Indeed, because the province of Limpopo only has 20 seats in the National Assembly. So basically him being reinstated at number 23 on the list means he's still not on the list. This is the argument that was made by his legal representative, saying that this is just a ploy by the ANC to just remove him, which also doesn't make sense, because the ANC itself says that if you don't meet the requirements, you can't be on the list. So they argue that it does not have a matric certificate, it does not meet the requirements, but yet they still reinstate him at number 23 on the list.
What would have been, if indeed the court had heard his case on an urgent basis today, what would have been his argument in court? Could it have been, you know, I don't have a matric, but I do have this amount of work experience, or I've got other diplomas? Could that have been part of his argument?
Indeed. So that law in the ANC says that an individual has to have a matric certificate or a postgraduate certificate, or he can have experience. So there are individuals who do not have the educational qualifications, but they still have served within those positions for a lot of years. So basically you can be put back onto that list based on the experience that you have. So that's what his legal team was arguing. But the problem with Mr. Boy Mamabolo is that he said in his CV that he does have a matric certificate, and he also claimed that he has a law diploma from the University of Johannesburg. So basically, if you don't have these qualifications, you lied in that you misrepresented yourself in the application process. So he still has that to answer to within the ANC. And the ANC also argues that he did not exhaust all the internal remedies that he could have basically exhausted before approaching the court. So that's another reason why the court found that there's no agency to the matter, because you could have gone back to the ANC, gone to the electoral committee of the ANC, and basically try to plead with them and explain yourself in that manner.
Because he does have the requisite experience. Outside of the matric and the law diploma, he actually does have the requisite experience.
Indeed, he's been an MP for so long, so he does have that experience. But also, he has been marred in a bit of controversy. We know that in 2020, he accused the EFF leader, Julius Malema, of basically abusing his wife, and then turned around and apologized to Mr. Malema, saying that what he had said was not true. But Mr. Malema had filed a defamation case of about 2 million, which he lost. So he still has that also case that is pending right now, that he still needs to pay that amount. So there's been a lot of controversy around Mr. Mamabolo.
Certainly. It looks like, as you say, he would have failed at the first hurdle as he did in court. Juniour Khumalo, it's a great pleasure having you here in studio. We hope to see a lot more of you.